Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something that is honestly a massive shift in how we build for the web, the Next.js App Router. And look, this isn't just another update, it's a whole new blueprint for creating web applications that are faster, more scalable, and frankly, just more intuitive. So let's pull back the curtain on the architecture that's really redefining the future of this framework. I mean, this is the big question, right? As our ambitions for what the web can do have grown, so have the challenges. We want these rich, interactive experiences that feel just like native apps, but they also have to be super fast, SEO-friendly, and, not impossible to maintain. That's the exact problem the App Router was designed to solve. To really get where we're going, you gotta look at where we've been. We started with these multi-page apps, you remember, a full-page reload every single time you clicked anything. Simple, but slow. Then came single-page apps, which felt really slick, but man, they struggled with initial load times and getting found by Google. Next.js was brilliant. It combined these with its pages router, but even that had its limits, especially around managing shared layouts and losing state all the time. And those limitations could be huge headaches for developers. Trying to manage a shared UI was clunky, and the biggest frustration for me, that client-side state, like if you had a sidebar menu collapsed or text you typed into a form, it was just gone every time you navigated. Poof! Data fetching was all over the place with different functions, and it was basically up to you to figure out how to make smooth loading and error screens. There just had to be a better way. And that's where this comes in. The App Router isn't just a small improvement, it's a completely different way of thinking. We're moving away from these rigid pages and into a much more flexible and powerful idea, segments. This is where the architecture starts to feel really elegant. So the core idea here is something called segment-based routing, and it is beautifully simple. Basically, you declare your app's routes just by creating folders. The way you organize your folders in the file system directly becomes the URL structure of your app. It's a perfect example of convention over configuration. You just follow the rules, and it works. And you can really see this in action right here. Inside your new app directory, every single folder defines a piece of your URL. You make a folder called dashboard, boom, you've got a dashboard route. You nest another folder inside of that one, like invoices, and you've just created dashboard/invoices. It's that intuitive. Your folder structure is your router. No complicated config files needed. So, the most crucial thing to get is the two main building blocks. You've got page.tsx, which is the unique UI for a specific route, the actual content of your invoices page. And then you have layout.tsx, which is the shared stuff that wraps around those pages. Think of a sidebar or a header that stays put while you navigate. And getting this difference is like 90% of the battle. Now, every single App Router project starts with this one thing, the root layout. This file is not optional, it's mandatory. It's the top-level shell for your entire app. This is the one place you're going to touch your HTML and body tags, and it's the perfect spot for any global stuff, like context providers. This structure gives you a really predictable and stable foundation for any project, no matter how big or small. Okay, now we get to what I honestly think is the real magic of this whole thing. It's a feature that delivers that incredibly fluid app-like user experience. It's called partial rendering. Let's break down how it works. This quote from the Next.js team just nails it. When a user navigates between pages that share the same layout, that layout doesn't get thrown away and rebuilt from scratch. Nope, it stays right where it is. Only the unique page component actually gets swapped out. So let's picture this in a real-world example. You're on the invoices page inside your dashboard. You click a link to go to the customers page. Now, because both of those pages share the same dashboard layout, that layout and any state it's holding, like a scroll position or a search filter you've typed in, is preserved. It doesn't change. Only the main content area updates. The result? A perfectly fluid, seamless transition with zero state loss. It just feels instant. So how does this new world really stack up against the old one? Let's do a direct, head-to-head architectural showdown. The App Router versus the old Pages Router. This table really tells the whole story of this upgrade. You start to see a pattern here, right? Where the Pages Router was kind of fragmented or forced you to do things manually, the App Router is unified and declarative. Just look at data fetching. We go from juggling multiple special functions to one single unified API. For loading and error states, we go from writing custom code to just dropping in simple conventional files, loading.tsx and error.tsx. Every single one of these changes streamlines the process, so you can focus on your actual UI, not on all the boilerplate. All right, theory is great, but let's make this practical. What does this huge architectural shift actually mean for you as a developer and for the projects you're working on right now? Well, the app router just gives you way more powerful tools out of the box. With a simple loading.tsx file, you can instantly show a loading spinner while the server's off fetching data. With error.tsx, you can contain an error to just one part of your UI without crashing the entire application. Plus, it really encourages co-location, keeping your components, your tests, your styles right there next to the routes that actually use them. That makes your code base so much more organized and easier to maintain. So after all that, what's the number one bottom line rule? It's really simple. If you are starting any new Next.js project today, you should be using the app router. It's not just another option, it's the foundation for the entire future of the framework. But what if you have a massive existing app that's built on the old Pages router? Don't panic. You do not need to do a giant high-risk rewrite. The two routers can actually live side by side in the same project. This means you can adopt a gradual strategy. Build all your new features using the app router, and then, slowly, you can migrate old pages over time. It's a really practical, low-stress path forward. So the app router isn't just an update. It's a fundamental rethinking of how we build for the web. It puts performance, developer experience, and scalability first. It really is the future of Next.js. So the only question left to ask is your code base ready for it?